The Radio Wemo Breakfast.
Bond does Deutschland. It's Kirsty Bond in Germany.
Yes, giving us a slice of life. It's ex-Kiwi FM breakfast show producer Kirsty Bond giving us a slice of life in Germany. Hello to you, Kirsty.
Hi there. How's winter coming along?
We're definitely in the depths of it now. You could definitely say that. Cold southerlies about the place, snow, rain. Yep, it's about it. But what I can see over there at the moment that it's light at this time of night. What time is it over there?
It's about 9:30, and it's very light outside. Stays light till about 10, which is brilliant for enjoying the summer evenings. We had 30 degrees on the weekend, by the way. Just rub it in your face.
Oh man, that seems like a long time ago already. You went to a wedding over there on the weekend.
I did. I went to a wedding and I was quite amused, and it was probably the funnest wedding that I've ever been to, because over here in Germany, weddings are a little bit different to what we're used to back home, where everything's quite formal. A German wedding typically has a lot going on, like instead of just having normal formal speeches, sentimental speeches, they'll get right into acting and dancing and singing and have pretty much a night full of entertainment put on for you. So it's quite random, the sorts of things that they get up to. For example, the bride and groom at one point had to stand up the front of the crowd holding an umbrella, and the rest of us had to, all the guests at the wedding had to surround them in a circle and throw balls of wool over the top of the umbrella so that it then appeared that there was like this wool raining down over the umbrella with the couple under it. And meanwhile, we're singing a song, which I had no idea what the words were, but something about raining. And
raining wool,
it really was a laugh.
Did anyone tell you whether or not that signified anything, the wool on an umbrella? Or just the fact that it probably looked quite beautiful?
I think it was... Sorry?
Or was it just the fact that it probably looked quite beautiful? Because I'd imagine it would have been pretty spectacular.
Yeah, it did look quite impressive. I don't know if there's any deep and meaningful thing going on behind it. I think it was, it's really just just randomness.
What about wedding food? Any good?
Oh, it was delicious. Yes, all wedding food's usually good. And in this particular wedding, we were right up by a castle perched on the top of a hill looking over Heidelberg, and there were fireworks and everything. And I was very impressed.
Very choice. Well, something else unusual that's been happening over there is something called the Snuffing Championships. Tell us about that.
Well, snuff taking, for those of you who are unfamiliar, is basically when you just sniff ground up tobacco up into your nostrils. And this isn't exactly a majorly common thing over here, but it still is quite popular in certain parts of the country, like especially in Bavaria, which is southern Germany. So snuff taking has been around in Europe since the middle of the 1500s, when apparently the Queen of France at the time offered it to her son who had migraines because they thought there were some medicinal qualities going on with snuff taking. And that sort of spread throughout the royal courts and became something that was done by the aristocrats. And then it filtered down through to the rest of the population as well, and was basically bigger than cigarettes until cigarettes came along and started filtering in, and that obviously became a more popular way of taking tobacco. Yeah. But here they do have the snuff taking championships. So a whole lot of people, both men and women, get together wearing their lederhosen, which is the traditional leather pants, and carrying their giant beer jugs, and they each get a little box of 5 grams of snuff, and they have a personal referee there watching them to make sure that they obey the rules. And then they're given 60 seconds in which they have to snort as much of this stuff up into their nose as possible. And if they sneeze, they're disqualified. Once the 60 seconds is over, the referees come round and collect up all the remaining snuff and weigh it, and whoever has the least amount left is the winner.
Do you know what I mean? When you say it's tobacco, does it look like tobacco that you would see rolled up in, say, a rolling cigarette, or is it ground up a little bit more? Is it quite different?
It's finer, and it's finer and it's darker, I think. So when people aren't getting it all the way up their nose, they're left with it on their upper lip, and it looks like a little Charlie Chaplin moustache, which is quite funny.
Charming.
But I was actually at a party, and they, after everyone had had a few drinks, they pulled out this little contraption, which was like, it reminded me of one of those machines that, do you remember that game Mousetrap?
Yeah.
It was big in the 90s, I think, and you had a ball and it would roll along and it would make something else like raise up, and then something else would go down the slide. It was like that, but the end result was that snuff was blown up into the person's nostrils, and then they have a brush which wipes the rest of the remaining snuff off the top of the nose. So that's what Germans get up to at parties sometimes.
So it sounds like to actually have the contraption there, it sounds like they've got it down pat. They know exactly how to make it look slightly dignified, possibly. Would that be the result? Slightly dignified?
Oh, I don't know about dignified. Maybe more novelty.
Yeah. Oh, well, thanks so much for giving us a wee slice of life there from Germany, Kirsty Bond. We'll catch up with you next week.
Okay, see you then.